Welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for gamers by gamers. I'm Hex.
And I'm Bajo.
And I am D.A.R.R.E.N.
Coming up on the show today, plants go up against zombies in Garden Warfare 2.
Brains!
It's horticulture and horror combined.
Also, we defy physics in Gravity Rush Remastered.
Did you know that scientists recently observed gravitational waves for the first time? And to think that Einstein predicted their existence 100 years ago.
It's incredible, Darren. Two black holes colliding, causing space-time ripples. Ah!
Well, how about we study something a little closer to home, like a new challenge, Darren?
Oh, affirmative. Power up your frontal lobes. It's time for Darren's Challenge. Today, I'm asking you this. First Legend of Zelda was released on which Nintendo console? Answer at the end of the show.
What a classic. All right, guys, I do believe Goose is ready with some gaming picks for us.
Yes, I do indeed. In fact, I even have a pick this week that involves black holes.
Oh, Goose, we were just talking about space and black holes. What would happen if you fell into a black hole, guys?
I think the official term is spaghettification.
Spaghettification? Well, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, isn't that?
Guys, I'm not actually sure. I just assume you turn into a lovely bowl of spaghetti. Sounds really nice, actually.
That's not what happens, Goose.
I don't know, Darren. I'm pretty good at this science stuff, but let's find out more with my first pick of the week. Well, there was this majestic sight from Elite Dangerous, where a group of over 50 pilots simultaneously jumped into hyperspace while in orbit of Sagittarius A, the supergiant black hole believed to be at the center of our galaxy. It's like a scene from Star Wars. Next up, check out this fan-made holographic Pokemon pyramid. A gamer known as Kenny Wodev crafted this impressive display using nothing but a camera, a projector, some perspex, and a custom-coded augmented reality program. I suppose that actually is quite a lot. And fans of Sword Art Online rejoice. Tech company IBM has announced that they will be making the virtual reality game depicted in the popular anime for realsies. Called Sword Art Online: The Beginning Project, players will wear a virtual reality headset, and by using 3D scanned avatars, they will use their whole body as a controller. Thankfully, unlike the show, when you die in the game, you won't die in real life. And finally, a personal pick from Spawnling Liam, who sent in this fantastic LEGO recreation of Bajo, Hex, and D.A.R.R.E.N. Obviously, Liam left me out so we could focus on creating what I can only assume is a giant goose statue. I look forward to seeing it, Liam. Remember, if you have a gaming creation of your own, send it in here. And it could wind up on my list of gaming picks. Until then, back to you guys.
Gravity Rush is a game we reviewed a while back on our big show. It was released on the handheld device PlayStation Vita.
Ah, yes, I remember, and we loved it.
Oh, indeed. It used the gravity mechanic very cleverly, using the Vita's touchscreen and gyroscope in all sorts of ways to manipulate the world and bend gravity.
Right, which is why I was both excited and nervous to hear that the game was being remastered for the PS4. On the one hand, yay, more people get to play Gravity Rush and on a bigger screen. But on the other hand, would the game be as good without all the Vita's fancy controls? The answer is yes.
Gravity Rush follows the story of a young girl named Kat, who wakes up in a strange world with no memory of who she is or how she got there.
La stream must free. It's a cool place of issue to one see.
Ah, the old amnesia story strikes again.
Yeah, we're all a little bit sick of it. But to be honest, you forget about it as soon as you start moving around and bending gravity. It's wonderful and so cleverly designed.
Affirmative. You quickly discover that Kat is one of a few people that have the power to manipulate gravity. The controls are tricky to grasp at first, but once you become confident with the mechanics, it's glorious!
I It's just so much fun, isn't it? There is a tutorial mission that teaches you the gravity controls, but it is worth taking an extra 5 minutes or so just to get used to how it all works. Playing around with rushing to different surfaces.
Yes, basically hitting R1 sends you floating into zero gravity. Then you aim your controller at whichever surface you want to shift gravity to. Hit R1 again, and you'll be sent rushing to that surface. Suddenly, you're walking along walls or upside down.
Upside down?
Oh, don't you do it, Darren. Hey, didn't you just have an upgrade? Surely they would have replaced your motion sensors.
Oh, they did. They're now far more sensitive.
Right, well, Darren, I think you should just be extra careful. But anyway, Bajo, yes, it is so clever, but your power is limited. Once it runs out, you'll start to fall back down to the ground as regular gravity takes over.
And you have to be extra mindful too, because this game is set on some floating islands. So if you fall and there's no ground below you, you'll just fall off the earth entirely. It's okay. I'm okay. Everything is under control.
Well, the best thing about the gravity mechanic is it's such an efficient way to get around. Once you get good at it, you can just use it to speedily fly around the city, going on quests and missions, helping people wherever you can, and fighting off nasty creatures that are invading the world.
I like too that there are little gravity boosters that you can grab in mid-air to extend the length of your gravity power. And that allows you to stay in the air longer without returning to the Earth and waiting for it to regenerate.
There are also gems to collect, placed in hard-to-reach places, that you can spend on upgrading your powers. I couldn't stop collecting them.
Oh, me too, Darren. In fact, I kept forgetting about the missions because if I saw some of those little gems somewhere, I just had to get them.
As the story unfolds, you start to learn more about Cat and this floating world that is plagued with dimensional tears and nasty creatures.
I was quite partial to the art and design. It's magnificent. I wouldn't mind framing a few screenshots for my Darren cave.
Yeah, I liked it too, Darren, especially the way they told the story through those comic book style panels. And the dialogue is really charming too.
I just wish there was more voice acting in there. I do get tired of button pressing through all those speech panels.
Fair enough. Well, how do you think this remastered version of Gravity Rush holds up on PS4?
Well, the Gravity Rush on Vita was revolutionary because it made use of all those controls really well. But this remaster proves that the game itself is brilliant regardless. I had so much fun all over again. I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Yeah, it's so great. You know, I'd forgotten just how much I loved this game, and now I'm thrilled that more people will get to experience it too. The controls can be tricky to get your head around at first, but man, once you get the hang of it, it's such an exciting and unique gaming experience. Guys, I'm giving it 5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Oh dear.
No, Darren, hold it in. Don't you do it, Darren!
Hold my antennae back, Bajo.
Darren, help!
Okay, well, let's start things off this week with this from the king of all donuts in Donutville, South Australia.
Oh, I want to live there.
Me too. Could you give us more information about No Man's Sky and how many planets there are in No Man's Sky, and more info on Ark Survival Evolved and for PS4, and Hex do these?
Well, Your Donut Highness, we can definitely give you a bit of information on No Man's Sky. So, obviously, it's a space game where you can fly around anywhere you like.
From what we can tell, it seems like the main objective is to just explore and catalogue what you find. And you'll be looking for resources that you can use to upgrade your ship.
But you can also get into space battles, and if you misbehave and harm creatures, you'll also attract the attention of a sort of police force in space.
As for how many planets there are, well, I don't know, but I heard there's a lot.
Yeah.
Almost infinite, in fact.
Well, let's see if Darren knows the exact number, shall we?
Oh, good idea.
Ringing. Oh, good ringtone this week. Yeah, rock it out.
Hello, how can I help you today?
Hey, it's Bajo and Hex here. We were wondering if you knew how many planets there's going to be in No Man's Sky.
I do indeed. Based on the 64-bit seed they've used attempts to procedurally generate their universe, the developers have calculated that there will be 18 quintillion, 446 quadrillion, 744 trillion, 73 billion, 709,551,616 planets.
Whoa. That is a very large and very precise number, Darren.
Indeed it is. It's so large that even if you only spent 1 second on each planet, it would take over 5 billion years for an individual to visit every single one. And considering that the sun will have run out of fuel and wiped out this solar system in about 4.5 billion years, it seems unlikely that any human will accomplish that.
Not to mention that humans typically don't live for 5 billion years, Darren.
Oh, yes, of course. So fleshy, so fragile.
Okay, well, thanks for those facts and for reminding us of our solar system's inevitable doom, Darren. You always know how to cheer us up.
Anytime. Goodbye.
Right, Darren. Oh, Hex, the human race needs to get out and explore the universe.
Yeah, we need to start colonizing planets and other solar systems ASAP.
Hey, let's name a planet Bajo's Awesome Planet.
Yeah, and we can have a gas giant called Hex.
Yes. A big gas giant called Hex.
Yeah, because I've always wanted to be a gas giant.
Well, as for more information on ARK, we're sorry to say, but that is quite a mature game, so it's not really appropriate for us to talk about here.
All right, well, let's move on to this one from Power Dragon 247, who is in Land of Awesome, Western Australia.
Or we could just build a new sun. A big giant sun. Hey, that's a good idea.
What would you build it out of?
You'd build it out of lots and lots of light bulbs.
But what would it be powered by?
Jeez. Will Xbox put Forza games on Windows 10 this year? Bye. From Dragon Master.
Well, Power Dragon or Dragon Master, the short answer is we don't know. But the long answer is maybe.
The short answer seemed to be longer than the long one, Hex.
Well, wait, I wasn't finished. So, firstly, Microsoft hasn't actually announced if there's going to be a new Forza game at all this year.
Oh, yes, but we're in fact 99% sure they're going to bring out Forza Horizon 3. It just fits in with how they've released Forza games for the last few years, so it seems pretty likely. And chances are they'll reveal it at E3 this year, since that's when they typically show off their new Forza games.
Yeah, but while Forza games have only ever come out on Xbox, almost every exclusive Xbox game coming out this year has been announced for PC as well. Microsoft has really been pushing their PC gaming recently, so I think there's a decent chance that this year's Forza will end up on PC as well.
Hang on, if they're on PC and Xbox, then they're not really exclusives, are they?
Well, they're exclusive to Microsoft platforms since you need an Xbox or a Windows 10 PC to play them, so it's just a different kind of exclusivity. But that's all just a big guess, and we'll have to wait until they officially announce their plans before we know for sure. So, let's move on to this one from Business Cat 788, who is in Business Cat Plaza outside Australia.
That cat means business.
He certainly does, Bajo.
What sort of business would that cat be in?
Well, I imagine he'd be the fat cat of some kind of multi-million-dollar corporation.
Or it could be into, like, cleaning, because cats love to clean.
That's true.
Yeah.
They only really like to clean themselves.
That's true. It's not really business, is it?
No.
We'll get back to you.
Salutations, GGSP. I have messaged you to tell you that Darren is wrong. A fair bit of time ago, you reviewed Lego Jurassic World. Now, Darren said that Velociraptor was the most dangerous. Sitting there on my business chair, I thought, whoa now, Darren must be wrong. Gigantanosaurus was thought to be more feared than the one and only T-Rex. T-Rex is more dangerous than Velociraptor, Darren. So, there you go. Drink from the noob cup, Darren. Kind regards, Business Cat 788.
Oh, snap business cat laying down the noob law. Let's get Darren on the phone and find out what that business is all about.
Hello.
Hey, Darren, it's Bajo and Hex.
Oh, hello again, Bajo.
Hi. Hey, mate, Business Cat here says that you should drink from the noob cup since you said the Velociraptor was the most dangerous dinosaur, and we all know the T-Rex was more dangerous, so I think it's time for you to drink from the noob cup, Mr. Buster.
I never said that. I said they were the scariest. Look, I'll prove it. Velociraptors are the scariest dinosaurs of all because they're almost as smart as Bajo.
Oh, thanks, Darren.
Oh, you're welcome, Bajo.
I don't think that's a compliment, Bajo. Dinosaurs' brains are pretty small.
See? Scariest, not most dangerous.
But wouldn't the most dangerous dinosaur automatically be the scariest?
Negative. It depends on what you find scary. Those velociraptors could open doors, Hex. Oh, terrifying. Oh, they're in the house.
Yeah, I guess
What's that?
T-Rex
What's that?
arms would be too short and their head would get stuck in the door or something.
Yes, also they're probably too big to fit in the house in general, right?
Not to mention their arms are kind of so far back that if they tried to get up to the door, they wouldn't
Yeah.
be able to reach it because their head would be in the way, you know? Like this,
could-
like this.
Yeah.
Like, this
Yeah.
T-Rex head
Yeah.
walking up to the door. Can't reach
Can't
the
get
handle.
in, can't reach the handle.
'Cause my head's in the way.
You know what they need? They need one of those long arms with the claws. You can just go-
Yes, with the rubber.
Yeah. Sadly, they hadn't been invented in the
No.
time of the
Can I go?
dinosaurs. Yes, all right. Well, I guess what you find scary is a matter of opinion, so you can't really be wrong about that. Oh, bye, Darren.
Goodbye.
Hi.
All right, well, let's move on, I guess, to this one from Like a Rogue, who is somewhere in New South Wales.
Gonna call Jeff Goldblum, see what he thinks.
Oh, okay.
Jeff, mate. Bajo. Bajo from Good Game. But he hung up. Roguelikes. Are there any good ones on iOS or PC or Xbox 360? Free if possible, but I'm happy to spend money. Well, for those wondering what a roguelike is, they're basically games where you go into randomly generated levels, and when you die, you have to start all over again. But often you get some new skills or equipment, so each run you get a little bit stronger and a little bit further.
There's definitely some good ones out there, but the only free one that I know of off the top of my head would be the original web browser version of Spelunky on PC. Or there's the more refined and paid-for version on PC and 360 as well. But I'm sure there's also heaps of other games out there.
Yeah, if you like space and sci-fi, then we always highly recommend FTL Faster Than Light for either iOS or PC. Rogue Legacy is a great one too, and it's an action platformer in a traditional fantasy setting with a great sense of humour, and that's on PC.
There's also Don't Starve, which has a focus on survival and crafting, kind of like a more brutal, less creative Minecraft. And you can grab that on PC or iOS. Or Nuclear Throne is a great roguelike shooter, which you can get on PC.
Another great one is Crypt of the Necrodancer, which is a dungeon crawler where you have to move to the beat of the music, and you can even use your own music, and that's on PC.
Well, hopefully that's enough suggestions to keep you going for a while. But we do have time for one more quick question, and let's go with this one from a person in Brisbane, Queensland. Hi, Good Game. I love your show and was wondering if you could answer my question. If you buy a game on PS3 and buy the same game on PS4, will all of the saved games be automatically saved, or will I have to replay the whole game all over? And you guys are awesome.
Sorry to say, person, but there's no backward compatibility between PS4 and PS3, and save files can't be transferred between them. So yes, you would have to replay the whole game if you bought it again.
If you're planning to upgrade and trade in or sell your PS3, then we'd recommend you should just finish whatever games you're playing before moving on.
Or better yet, it's not a bad idea to just hold on to your PS3 if you can. That way you can keep playing all your old PS3 games with all their saves and not have to rebuy or replay anything.
Yeah, definitely. There's no harm in keeping an old console lying around. But on that note, we're actually out of time for this week, so if you'd like to ask us something, then you can go here and send it in.
Shall we T-Rex back to the studio, Hex?
Oh, yeah. Alright guys, it's time to see if flower power can rule victorious over the hordes of zombies in Garden Warfare 2.
team-based multiplayer shooter based on the Plants vs. Zombies tower defense game, which came out around 7 years ago now. Ugh. You wouldn't think that turning a game like that into a fast-paced shooter would really work, but it really does.
Yeah, so much so that we're up to a sequel already.
The game is set in the backyard battleground of Zomburbia. You can play as either the plants or the zombies, selecting from a variety of character types, each with individual attacks and special moves designed to obliterate your enemies.
I love this sprawling suburban hub level they've created. There's so much to do at it even before you join a multiplayer match. I had heaps of fun taking on little solo quests to level up my characters and unlock new goodies, or going hunting for hidden chests.
Yeah, it's such a lively world, and the cartoony art style is great. I was also surprised, too, by just how much single-player content there is. Those mini-missions are a great way of learning all the game's multiplayer mechanics and different modes of play.
Whether you play solo against the AI or online in multiplayer with friends, matches offer a variety of objectives. Some maps have you defending a structure from waves of attacks, or you'll need to capture and hold points within the level. There's even a mode called Gnome Bomb that has you fighting to carry an explosive garden gnome to your enemy's base.
I really enjoyed playing as the Shrimp, a little zombie imp that can call down a devastating robot for maximum firepower.
Well, for me, I had more fun playing as the plants, zapping things as a citron, or firing pellets as Colonel Corn. I guess it's just fun mowing down zombies.
Yeah, and in general, the controls feel really slick. There's a lot of different abilities to learn across all these characters, but they're all fun to try out. You can also add to your arsenal by paying in-game coins to tear open sticker packs. These unlock new characters to play with and even some funny costume options. And what a relief that this game doesn't involve microtransactions with real money. It's all with currency you earn in-game. I was so surprised by this game, you guys. I thought it would be the sort of thing where the novelty wears off really quickly. But I think Garden Warfare 2 is up there with games like Splatoon for multiplayer fun. I'm definitely coming back to this. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Yeah, it's really likable and full of that goofy sense of humor that developers PopCap always put into their games. I'm giving it 4 rubber chickens.
So Darren, do you have the answer to your challenge?
I do indeed, Bajo. At the start of the show, I asked you this. The first Legend of Zelda was released on which Nintendo console? And the answer is the Nintendo Entertainment System, also known as the NES.
And did you know that The Legend of Zelda turns 30 years old this year?
Whoa, more like 30 years young, Hex, and I'm sure Zelda will be around for at least another 30. Next week on the show, we spend some quality time with Yokai Watch.
Sort of looks like Pokemon for a new generation, doesn't it?
Gotta watch them all.
I guess we'll find out next week if time really does fly when you're having fun.
All right, well, until next time, may all your games be good ones. Hex out.
Bajo out.
Darren out. Oh, did you know that The Legend of Zelda was first sold in Japan on a floppy disk system?
Floppy disks? Oh, that sounds familiar.
Oh, yeah, what are they again?
Oh, they were big in the 80s. They were a magnetic platter protected by a plastic sleeve. They came in several different sizes.
I think I remember.
Yeah, oh, they had a little door. You could go flick, flick, flick.
Yep, that was a 3.5-inch floppy.
Yeah.